Computer. Lights.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Thursday. Apparently, we are Decepticon colors and Autobot colors behind us. Weird, but true. I'm having sort of a problem with my smart lights. They seem to have gotten forgotten. They forget every so often. My smart lights will forget from time to time what their connection is, and they need to be rebooted. But I've got two smart lights right now that are in weird, confused land. So we'll work on that. All right. Okay. So we've got like things going on to prep for our trip to convention land. Things get kind of funky when you go over here to the desk because we've got. So here's what we're working on today. I've got these guys here, which are LEDs. And what's happened is got a little box here for them so that we can work on these when we're put this in backwards, put this in forwards, helps a whole lot better. Put this in forwards. So what we've got so far is only one rack works because we've got to go from here to here. We've got a bridge across, then we got to go back and over here. With these guys, however, what I discovered, and this is to my chagrin, is the 2 points. It's hard to see. The 2 points right here are closer together than the 2 contact points here. So I can't use these wires. So today I'm going to go over to my buddy James's, and we're going to work on soldering them because I don't do solder. When I solder things, this is an important thing to note for some reason, and I have no earthly idea why. I will burn every LED out of there. I will burn them all out. They will all burn out. I don't know how I did it. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how it occurred, but it did. So the idea behind this rack, though, is that we will put each layer of cell in here, which will be illuminated by these racks of lights. So this guy actually will be on the surface, but the stitch underneath him, this guy here, will live on this rack. So he'll be lit up from the sides over here, and that should help us a whole lot. So that's what we're doing. That's our battle plan for today. A little later on today, my buddy Kevin will be here, and he and I will take this over to my buddy James's, and we will do this little work here, and he'll tap these together and everything using probably the wires that we already have. But the best part about him doing it on site, so to speak, is that he'll be able to take these wires and we can cut them to length so that they only go from here to here, and they don't sit there and do this, which is what they would have done if we had done these with the connectors. So we can cut them short and make them this to this and still make it work and look nice, which will be good since this will be sitting on a table, on a desk, being a presentation this weekend. So I'm going to put a small piece of tape across here just to hold this box on. This box does not like to stay. doesn't want to stay. So I'm going to make sure it's got a lot of good tape going on right there so it'll stay. Because it may not be this way. It may actually be this way. It'll probably be this way. This is probably the easier way to do it. So I'll write in pencil. So that we will remember that this goes this side down so that the box is just sitting on the ground next to it like this. So I can turn it on and turn it off. A little box like that. So there we go. So the cell box then, we're just going to stick these guys right on it directly like so. And I'm just going to take hot glue and hot glue on the back side. So together, all together and fine. So over there, it's good to go. To the electronics first before the things together because it'll be much easier for James to reach in. Oh, also, I already it's not bad. That's offline. So, oh, wait. Over here. We could use or do whatever. We're my but first to better are feeling a little weird about the stick in the background because I am running into serious issues. Stream is really choppy. I'm having real problems. Nothing is getting out there straight. I'm noticing. It's saying something happened to the connection. Please stand by. I have 2 yellow bars. Oh, it's brutal. It is a brutal, brutal thing. My stream is in lousy shape today. Internet weather sucks. Not good. I am still in contact with my mom's best friend. And she's going to come over to watch yeah, now it's getting better. I'm noticing that too. She's coming over to watch Strange New Worlds when it comes out. I remember as a kid, she and I had long discussions about whether Star Trek original series was better or Next Gen was better. And she was like, nah, nope, next gen sucks and TOS is better. And now we are at a stage where I think she actually has changed her tune, which is fine. I have changed many a tunes myself. You know, I could just probably copy this leg and then paste it, and then we could just, I mean, it's probably just fine. I would love to. That actually, especially since there's so much negativity, and I'm a positive person on this, as in I like all of these. I think that'd be great. Okay, let's get this aligned like so. Then we can go in and fix it. Because, of course, Stitch doesn't look right with the cutout that cuts out around him. Right? So I'm going to go in ahead and redraw him. And we're just going to go ahead and flatten it in like this. And you'll be like, why did you do that? Well, because actually it's just easier for me to go through here and just cut in like so. And just erase all of this. Let's go through here and just clean this up. And this will give us one extra viable cell that I think I want to have ready for me at the table. We'll put him out. But everybody loves Stitch. And Stitch is so totally my spirit animal. I mean, really, honestly, legitimately, if I ever had a spirit animal, it's Stitch. Alien. From another world. Licks cameras. Oh, that'd be good. And Stitch on his own cell is kind of cute. I mean, realistically. Right? So we'll make Stitch on his own cell. There we go. And really, we should have put Pikachu on his own cell too. They need to be on their own layers. The Pikachus are totally fine as far as cells are concerned, but I think I want to make a modified Stitch because the Stitch needs to be bigger. I also feel like this leg needs to be just slightly forward. So we're going to do, there's no object to transform. Yes, because you need to be on this layer. And we'll do that and pull it out just a little bit here. So he's kind of stepping forward a little, you know what I mean? Like he's coming out of the background there where he's got that sort of, there we go. See, just give him a little bit of a step forward. It's like, you know, so it gives him just a little bit more stability there. All right. Stitch. Yay, Stitch. Good job, Stitch. Okay. So now we're going to put a background on, turn off that, and I'm going to from now on, when I do these, we're going to put a tiny R in the bottom of all of the cells. And the R will tell me whether it's reversed or not. Because I've done that before. In fact, we're going to do new. I'm going to do 8.5 by 11 at 600 DPI. rotate it. Then we're going to take you and go all copy. Paste. Okay, so part of the problem we have is I don't know where we should, okay, that's not going to work. This isn't going to work. We're going to need to go back and, first of all, we're going to have to go back and get over here so I can see it. We're going to have to go back and get the actual stitch guy for this, the cell. Open with Clip Studio Paint. Okay. This way we can go all copy, paste. And now we know exactly how he's going to line up, because otherwise he won't line up right on this. So transform, flip, and then we have to scale him. Yeah, I figured as much. There we go. There we go. It's not critical that he's perfect. What is critical is that he's close, because he's got to line up somewhere. So we'll do a couple of these guys. Control-Shift-E to save. And I'm just going to save them over the existing one, because from now on, this is the stitch we will use. Excuse me. Looks like our feed is now green, so at least I'm not dying. Hey, you want to see something cool? My lights have gotten wonky, so now I have Autobot and Decepticon lights. I'm allergic to Autobots and Decepticons. What I need to do also, if I were really smart and if I had time, what I would do is totally do Transformers. This look out the window is, I wonder if I can set it up fast enough. So we may be doing evening shows, by the way, depending on how the show turns out. Whenever I'm doing pre-recorded shows. I wish there was a program to just do assemble edits, like basic edits. Premiere is too much for putting stuff together. All right. Okay. Like, it takes weeks for Premiere to load on my computer. Not you. Never mind. Takes weeks to, I mean, not weeks, but it does take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes to load Premiere. Kind of wish there was a way that I could do. And the reason I say this is because what I'm going to start doing, I think, is when I'm, we talked about this PC. When I'm working at the school, I'm going to pre-record my shows from 9 to 11 at night and then have them play automatically the next day. But when I record at night, I might as well broadcast, and you can join me from 9 to 11 at night. And then if things go well, I might stay at 9 to 11, but I don't want to lose like Hone and Ghost Hand, who are used to me being in the middle of the day. Um, and I don't know whether Donald goes to bed at whenever Donald goes to bed. And for you, Brent, that'll be 10 to midnight. It'd be kind of rough to be on my show and hanging out. So my thought is that I was going to broadcast it the next day as well and have it, 9. I'm going back to teaching in May. They're going to pick me up for weekend classes. And then in June, I'm going to start 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off throughout the rest of the summer. So yeah, same. I want to say it's the same kind of thing, but at least, oh my goodness, I'm in classroom. I'm not actually in car, which the cars, I swear I was going to get killed. Being a driving instructor in a car with a kid. It's rough. So, anyway, so there you go. So looking at what we've got on cells. Okay, so anyway, we're going to start that in May and then in through June and then July and August. I'll just be running 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. I'm not going to teach my kiddo. I know better. I'll teach your kiddo and you teach my kiddo. And that's the way this works. Because nobody listens to dad. Nobody listens to dad. My dad taught me how to drive, and I didn't listen to half the stuff he said, and I really should have. But the Davises, as in my sister, my dad, and I, were notorious car people. We love our cars. We love driving. We absolutely love driving. This is such an amazingly wonderful thing for us. We are drivers. We love driving. My car is still a 6-speed manual, and it's getting harder and harder. I had to have my 6-speed manual shipped from where you are to here because they just didn't have any manuals, so they had to have it shipped. And when I got it, it still had the plastic on it, and it had 8 whole miles on it. 8. So you'll teach my that'd be how this works. And he'll go lay it down just to see what happens. Anyway, so yeah, I love to drive. I love to drive a lot. I drive very well. It's a thing. I'm an excellent driver. So okay, here are the things also that we want to talk about in individual pieces. Okay, where am I going with this stuff? Guys' artwork. Okay. We were going to take a look at Ashla's Last Stand and see if we couldn't use that. And I feel like that didn't end up anywhere. We were going to look at Daughters of the Dragon as well. That didn't go over as well. Ugh. Driving to Florida. Ugh. I don't know if I'd do that voluntarily. An awful lot of just original sketches through here. I don't know. One of the things that my buddy is trying to convince me to do is do more mechanical stuff. Because he likes the way I to the Lord of the Rings books. Yeah. Isn't that the truth? Ugh. All right. Okay, so Maya had made a couple of suggestions. My wife had made a couple of suggestions about how things were with this guy. I'm still working on him now and everything like that. So we're kind of trying to figure out what's good or not. Now, my question is, does this look okay? Because I'm at the point where I've spent 5.5 hours, almost six, my wife, almost 6 hours on this drawing. And I can't tell anymore whether it's good or not. I can't. I'm no longer cognizant. It looks horrible. Everything looks terrible. It all looks bad. So I can't. I'm no longer objective. So the question heads to you guys. What do you think? Does it look good? Does it look bad? And that's the big thing. I wonder if I can put like the overlays on here because I've got an overlay which goes like this. I wonder if I could take that overlay and make it work for me. I have no idea. Google Voice telling me that tomorrow is a limited contact day for my child. So the light on the side of his head. So this zone here, are we thinking it should be darker, or the white is almost washing out his skin tone? Gotcha. Well, and that's a relatively easy fix, right? We take that. Yeah, it is white, isn't it? Let's do this. More like that. So I have to say Dishel. Too white. There we go. So like that. I'm okay with that. That looks good. Asteroid should be on normal. Looks better. Okay. A relatively easy fix. That's not a relatively easy fix. All right. Well, then, I think we're going to leave Grogu alone for a little while and make him. I'll go through and do some quick cleanup of the cell before we move on, because we'll need to do that real quick, like right through here. Just making sure all the line work is solid so it doesn't look so rough. Clean up some of this through here and right there. Kind of come around here a little bit and just clean this up. We're just cleaning up some of the line work so that it's not so rough. And people are going to look at Baby Yoda a lot, so you want to make sure it's nice and sharp. There we go. Legitimately, that's exactly what we're going to do. That is exactly why the asteroid is on its own layer. For that very reason. It will be out on its own separate layer and all will be good. All right. So speaking of commissions and things like that, you wanted me to do artwork for you. And you wanted your character and a starship. Did you want to pick a starship that you wanted to do with your character? Or did you want me to just pick one of the ones that are already existing? Like, did you want to be on the van? Or did you want to be on the Cuesta? I don't even think you're on Tessara's ship. I don't know who's on Tessara's ship these days. The Cuesta is a very different critter. But honestly, the Cuesta would be more your style since your character is very much a military guy, and the Cuesta is very much a military ship. Less of that, you know, weird scientific stuff, and more of the shooty stuff. Remarkably weird since, you know, Vulcans are notoriously pacifistic. Except to Sarah, she's apparently not actually pacifistic, so there's that. There we go. There. So now here's another thing. Here's another question. In the world of comic books, we often do a thing where we outline slightly more. And I'll show you what we're doing here. We outline, draw on the outside, and we'll go for that. That's probably too much, but we'll give it a shot. Right? Do something like that. This may not be what we're after, and don't worry about the dots that you see above his head. I'll go back and kill those in a minute. And it may actually be something we want to put a little lighter version of. But what do we think about the idea of a thick outline around the outside edge? Or a thicker outline around the outside edge? Because maybe it's actually closer to 10 on the outline. There we go. Right? So something like that to give it just a little bit more oomph around the outside. These guys can just die. Something like that. And what do we think? Does that help or hurt? Something to think about as well. Anyone else who's on this show can chime in at any time. Tell me what you think. This is a new cell. It's about to go into production starting today. So I'm going to Yep. So you want a Klingon shuttle behind him. And you want a standee. So you want a character sheet. That's cheaper than a cell. Which is good. Cells are expensive. So did you like it before or after? That was unclear. Did you like it before or after I outlined it? I'm also going to after. Okay, me too. So I should have done. I guess I don't get to do that. Nobody gets to do that. Yeah, well, I like it like this too. All right, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to duplicate the layer. We're going to take this guy out because right now we want to make sure we fix these things correctly. And we're going to do a little bit of a push on this. I feel like this guy's not quite as dramatic as he should be. So we're going to do a mesh transformation on it. I'm just going to push this out a little. Right, so we're going to just push this out. Yeah, a little bit more push. Oh, not that much push. Right. All we're doing here is just pushing this out so it looks like it's a little closer to us. Right. And push it out. Right. Got to give it a minute to get over itself. Give it a minute or two. I'm going to hit deselect. I'm going to just go in here and just patch up some stuff. And all we're doing with this was just to give it just a little bit more of a push, to feel a little bit less like it's flat. Just kind of give it some of this flatness. And then I think I will call this guy good. And we'll set him up for print. And we'll see whether he sells or not on all of the jokes that can occur by saying sells. Right, so there. A little bit of a push there just gives it a little bit, it's Grogu. He should sell in theory. We'll see. All right. We'll go to open. And we will come back to here. Convention setup, cells. And I'll just open any one of these guys in random because they're already configured, right? So I'm going to head and turn that off, and we'll start here. And we'll say all copy, and then we'll move. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. Paste, bark right in the middle of his face. Right? And then we'll flip along the axis, bork. So we're here because we've got to remember these guys have to be reversed. Yes. Wait, no. I meant yes. God damn it. Transform, flip horizontal. Okay. Just do the thing. Just do the thing. And we'll take you. And we'll do the same thing. All and copy. We'll go here and we'll paste him. Because now we're going to have to see what the size is on this because it might be a little different. He's also not vertical. All right. Let's undo that because we're not in a vertical cell. Just none of this is a vertical cell. Let's do this the right way. Rotate canvas 90 degrees. There we go. Now paste. Right. So now we've got him. And we will rotate flip this way, flip him horizontal. That's how you check to see whether he looks weird or not. He doesn't actually look weird, so I guess we're doing okay here. Copy. Paste. No. You're on the wrong layer whenever you copy, which for some reason it didn't take the command to switch layers. Paste because I'm moving just way too fast is what's going on. And then we will transform, flip horizontal, put you right here. Maybe I'll even do a little bit more like so. Give it a little bit more of a push into this corner of the cell. There we go. And we'll put him a little further down, maybe. So we'll put him right here. There we go. We'll go all, delete, and select all white, and then click white. And we'll... Yeah, I let the chop be transparent. So I don't paint it intentionally, because then it doesn't stick out. I don't like, one of the things I hate is making my signature stick out, really stand out and be obnoxious. So save as, and we're going to go for cell. You know what? First, turn off the layer, this cell. We'll just say save as, and we'll go cell 7A. Grogu. And we'll just say 01 because I'll probably do another one at some point. And then we will say save as, and this is cell E. That's how I keep them straight, so I know which ones go where. They're already reversed, so we're good. So that's major step 1. We are done with that. Okay. Yes, it does, but it won't matter because all the white doesn't print. Whatever's white doesn't print. So it doesn't matter that the chop has a white behind it. That won't print. So, in fact, even little things like these lines inside here are not going to print either. And the green along the side here is actually a good move because it probably wouldn't have printed there either. And though it hasn't quite done it yet, anything that's not printed on will bubble. And yeah, no, it's all cool. Anything that's not printed on will bubble, so that the paint will bubble up. So I've got it's okay if it's a small strip of white, because the black on one side and the color on the other will mean that it'll only bubble in the middle here, but that'll be bridged, so it won't matter. It'll seal down at some point in time because it's all connected. What's a problem is if there's a huge area of white, then I have to work with that a little bit. So I try to make it just slightly gray or slightly blue, or just like you were saying, slightly green, to make it all kind of fit. So Grogu's ready. Let's take a look at anything else we want to do while we're at it. Got a lot of chibis and cutes in here. These guys could be made into cells pretty quick. Always loved, like, this guy here. You know, it's a Nekobus, except it's actually a Konekobus. I'm going to get back to work on the comic. After Wicked West, we're back to work on the comic. We've managed to get 90% of the Kitty Wake ready to go. Have you seen the new revised Kittiwake model? Because she's pretty hot. Here, I'll bring it up. Because I think I'm actually going to turn this Neko bus into a cell. We'll do it quick. Because that Koneko bus is kick butt. It's a kick butt picture. It turned out kick butt. And I did it stupid fast. So I think I'll just do that as a... Oh, that's right. We've got to get back to Silver Pentacle too. That needs to be done too. So we'll probably alternate back and forth between doing one panel of Silver Pentacle and then going through pieces of the comic, and then another panel of Silver Pentacle and then going through pieces of the comic. Because you're right, we got to do Silver Pentacle too. We probably also should, somewhere along the line, do... I actually think this Koneko bus is going to be perfect. While you're loading, let's just start with all copy. And then we just need to just paste him in, because really, truthfully, okay, hi, I'm having issues. I don't know what my problem is all of a sudden. But I think I could do a quick Koneko bus. So let's do this. We already did the ink, so to speak, of it. So all we need to do is just throw this thing in and do it. This is one of my best. And to think this was on a 3x5 card, so it was this big. No, there's no due date. They never put a due date on it because so Silver Pentacle is entirely Ron Fortier being a nice fellow to me, because I was talking to him one day about how I was spinning out and out of control and not doing so well. And I was feeling very like I was not being a good artist. And so what Ron did was he said, hey, I've got a project for you. There's no stress on this. You can do this at your speed when you get around to it, and it will be fine. And so I started doing Silver Pentacle for him, because there's no speed limit for it. They're just going to put it out when they get to it. And so, yeah, it has been a while, but he understands that we're doing Wicked West first, and that I do have a comic in the works here. So he knows that. And so it's not like it's horrible. Anyway. Do this Koneko bus here because it's cute. So for those of you who are interested in your little Japanese lesson for the day, Ko is child, Neko is cat, and bus is bus. So Koneko bus means it's the cat child bus, or kitten bus. This is only seen if you are at the Ghibli Museum. There's no other way to see the Koneko bus except at the Ghibli Museum. I agree, and I appreciate you keeping me on task, because actually, totally forgotten that. So, Boop is Brian.
Hello, it's me.
It's Brian.
How's it going?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing the Konica bus.
Okay,
And when
but
Brian attacks, I'm gonna do it this way. As long as it's just you and me, we can do this way.
okay.
So there's a story behind the Konica bus. Are you familiar with the
Uh-oh.
Neko bus from My Neighbor Totoro?
Yes.
So there's the Koneko bus is a kitten. Ko is child in Japanese. So Neko is
Isn't
cat.
there a wasn't there a sequel with the
There really was, but you can only see it if you go to the Ghibli Museum. You can't see it unless you go to the Ghibli Museum. And it's cute.
Makes
It's
sense.
disgustingly cute. I mean, just like all of the things that are Totoro, it is disgustingly cute. So,
And Miyazaki, because Miyazaki does a lot of things that are
yep.
Well, he does horrific too, but
He does horrific. Like I don't know. The first time that Totoro like does the roar thing, I was terrified out of my gourd, and I was like 25. You know, I was like, how do kids find this cute? Oh my god.
did I ever tell you about the story of when I went to go see Princess Mononoke in theaters?
Uh-oh.
So it actually came to Denver in theaters when it was first released,
Yep, I was there.
and and was sitting in the theater, and it was very clearly like even marketed said this is not for kids. It was like 16 plus to go see it.
And nobody would listen because it was a
Yeah,
cartoon.
yeah, and that this is the funny part. So we're watching it, and it gets to the scene where the demon is going nuts inside of Ashitaka, and he is literally beheading guys with his arrows.
Yeah, and he's about to behead his own arm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it gets to the scene where he takes off the guy's arms with the arrow. And that's when a woman jumped up with her two kids covering their eyes and ran out of the theater.
Right? And I'm like sitting there going, guys, because I mean, I wasn't in that theater, I don't think, but I mean, I might have been. You and I might have been in the same spot like 10 years before.
I got a good laugh out of that, man.
Yeah,
Me and
well,
my friend both.
we had that problem all the time with NDK because we'd get kids who would come in with their moms, and their moms would be like, okay, we'll have fun, and we'd look over at the next showing in video one, and it'd be like Urutsuki Doji, Legend of the Overfiend, and these little like 5-year-olds are like, yay, and we're like, oh god. And so we'd have to do the no,
The slow motion, no.
right? And we would get parents every year who like, you didn't tell me, blah, blah. And we're like, we were very clear about this. We were very, very clear about it.
That's because people don't read.
Right?
They just see cartoon, and then that's what they take it for.
So frustrating. That's all right. We lived. All of us lived. Anyway, so Brian has been trying to break world speed records with his comics.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know.
I'm being very slow.
I know. I have been trying to convince Brian that the speed of which mangaka do things is not indicative of the real life. And in fact, they are doing tricks so that you can't tell what's going on.
Well, I know they're doing tricks.
Yeah, because they can't get paid any other way. R. Okay.
I mean, you aren't wrong.
Yeah, actually, I'm really not. I that is a sad but true statement about Japan. There are a lot of things. I love Japan. Japan is my second home. And I mean, as far as second country goes, I am so attached to that country, but there are some real problems that they are not addressing. One of the biggest problems that they have that is still an issue, and it really irks me, is that you're not technically an adult until you're 20 there. So if you have a problem with your parents and you're not getting along with your parents or anything, then you have no choice but to stay with them until you're 20. You can't get a job, you can't get out in the real world. And that has forced a number of people to do things that they did not want to do because they were trapped. Their parents were being bad or unruly or something was really rough, so they would try to go out and get a job where they would get a job and it would uh, it would be illegal, and so they would get an apartment and that would also be illegal because they were effectively minors even though they were 18 or 19. And so they would have to sell their body to make rent because no company would hire them because they were underage. And so that still happens enough that there was a lawmaker in the Diet yesterday who is trying to get them to stop, to change the laws. There's a law in the books that they're working on right now that would say it was legal to get a job at 18. And so that was a thing. And she was actually laughed at, but she wasn't laughed at for what you think. She was, I mean, the lawmaker was making the right points. They weren't laughing at the points per se. What they were laughing at was she took a dig at the PM. So, of course, the news
Is
cycle.
it still the same guy that's the PM?
No, we've got a new PM, also
Oh,
now,
okay.
and I don't know if I like him any better. He's still from LDP, and I'm not fond of the LDP, and I never have been, and I'm openly against the LDP, and I have been for many years. But that's back to, Japanese politics is what Japanese politics is. So,
Okay, that was hilarious. I accidentally muted myself.
so you didn't say whatever it was you were saying while I was talking about Japanese politics.
Well, no, I was here. You started to say something about the LDP, and then it just muted, so everything went silent. And it's like,
Nice.
oh,
Yeah, I'm being censored. You can't talk bad about the LDP.
yeah. So yeah, this is page 10 I'm working on.
Yep. Just so you know, it's okay. You should be the speed you should be operating at is about 3 pages a week.
Okay, so I might have exceeded that.
Right. I was going to say, so the problem is don't kill yourself over this. It's 3 pages a week, 3 to 5. You can do 5 on the outside. But the important thing is mangaka are abused. And there's no reason to abuse you.
Well, I think part of that stems from the web comic culture
Mm-hmm.
is extremely abusive.
Yep.
Like the way they have the algorithms set up and all this, you can never take a break.
Yep.
And in some ways, that it actually makes um, the Japanese system look gentle.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean my feeling on this one is I'm going to do these at my speed and we're going to do them as much as we possibly can. But we're not going to kill ourselves. We're old. And this is not going to this isn't happening with super killy stuff. We're going to do what can be done in 2 days worth of or in 2 hours worth of work a day. And that's good. So what can be done in my show? And my lights just changed. So I'm going to quickly over here just pop my neck and stretch for a minute or two. And just make sure everything's shook up a little. Loosen my shoulders. I should have When Brian Attacks on. There we go. I have a switch for this that you can still see me down here at the bottom of the screen. And you can still see all I'm doing here on the top of the screen. Isn't that nice? When Brian Attacks. Okay. And there's our cat bus in ink. Not bad. I think I'm going to fix his ear right here because I feel like this ear could be up a little bit more. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to transform, mesh transformation. I'm going to do this. I've decided the mesh transformation is one of my favorite tools.
Actually, one of my favorite tools that I've been running is effect, expression, color, and then you can switch either to color, gray, or monochrome. If you do color, you can change the color of the lines on that layer. If you switch to monochrome, it goes straight black and white.
Nice.
Which means that if you take a picture and put it into Clip Studio and go to black and white, it will actually turn it into a nice manga background.
All right. Did you know about this button up here?
Hang on. Let me look. Which button?
Hang on. There's a button on the, let me go full screen. And go from that to monitor. If you look right up here, this checkerboard, you see that checkerboard right here?
No, I do not.
So look. It's
okay. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Checkerboard. If you take and watch this. So I'll take a pen, do it in gray, and do something like so, right? And then I hit this checkerboard, it immediately turns it into Zipatone.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh. That's a handy trick right there.
Yep, it is totally a handy trick. Instant Zipatone. Donald's saying if I'm drawing other cats, it means that George will be all jealous.
But you're not drawing cats. You're drawing a cat bus. That's different.
I'm drawing a kitten bus, yeah. Oops. All right. There we go. Kitten bus. I dig kitten bus. Maybe, yeah. Except that I feel like, you never know. Never know where everything's going to be. Okay, let's turn on the colors and let's just snag some of this color here because I really think we're going to be here. Hi, you want to work on doing the thing? Do the thing. Select the color. Why are we not selecting the color? I'm right clicking on this. Okay. We've gotten confused. That's good. Okay. I'm going to take you. I'm going to duplicate your layer and put you under here. And I'm going to turn you on so I can remember what colors things are. And go bork. Oh. Close the
Bork, bork,
margin.
bork.
Still getting into that zone.
Get into the zone.
And go there, and there, and there, and there, and there, and there. And that. And his face needs to be that way too, but it gets into the side zone. I'm aggravated about that. Okay, then we go here, and we say click. And we go up here, and we click in here, and here. Here, 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 here. Uh-oh. Like, that's probably bad. There you go. There, there. These are important noises to make, by the way. Otherwise, how would you know?
What's going on?
Kitten Bus never has problems because it runs perfectly. And that would be Donald, ladies and gentlemen. Donald. And yellow for... Okay, why are you not selecting right-click here whenever on my pen? What's the story? I don't think I know. Okay. Trying to do as little as possible, naturally. What is going on?
I don't know. I never know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little like we've gotten... Oh, I know what's going on. We've gotten a little freaked out over here, and I'm... There we go. There we go. And what color is his nose? I guess we just didn't care. That's all right. There we go. There. Now we're getting closer. Now we'll need to do a little white poof of fur underneath. So we'll take this color and bring it up to there. I'll come in here and just kind of do this. Because cute always sells. Right? Cute sells. So... All right. All right. Okay. Hang on real quick. I'm going to go blow my nose because I've become allergic to kitten buses.
Oh no.
All right. I'm back.
Welcome back.
To the stage of history. I think this is going to be a great piece by itself. I don't know why I didn't just swipe one of my earlier versions of this anyway. But that's okay. I think as a single cell, it's going to be really cool. It's a single cell organism,
I hate you so much right now.
right? If I hadn't said it, Donald would have.
Yeah, this is true.
Because there's no way he could turn that down.
That is a dad joke through and through.
It totally is. Okay. The best part about this whole thing is I totally drew these pictures a long time ago. So I'm just repurposing something that I had given away at, we did freebie um, drawings for kids at the Sakura Festival.
I remember that.
And this was one of the, somebody came around and asked for something from Studio Ghibli. And I said, what something? And they said, I don't know. And I said, have you ever heard of the Neko bus? And they said, yes, Neko bus. And I said, how about a kitten Neko bus? And they said, what? And I had to tell them the whole story about Koneko buses. And they were like, I need a Koneko bus. So I drew this for them and took a picture of it. And I'm still using it, which is great because totally didn't think that I'd ever use these pictures or these particular ones again. So but certainly little Koneko bus works really well for this,
Yeah.
Give me a perfect little like side cell here. Very cute, and everybody loves Koneko buses, and even though I think their smiles are somewhat terrifying, but you know what? I've gotten used to it over the years. Exactly. And it's true. I mean, I did it for free, and some kid has the original, and it's, probably been trashed by now because kids. Um but I might as well, do something with this. I might as well take it out of the old whatever and reuse it. It was a good piece. I can't believe I drew this thing in like 30 minutes, 15 minutes. The kid was standing there. Couldn't have even been that long. Sometimes I
One
think
of us. One of us.
should have gotten the NFT. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was before NFT was a gleam in the creator's eye.
And back in the early days of 2019. Yep.
Was such an innocent time then.
It was so much different. Yeah, everything was different back then. So I'll add this guy to my little collection of things that we will sell on the table, and I'll build him up as a cell tonight, and he'll be ready to go, and that'll be cool.
This is such a weird panel. Like the angle of it is so strange. So I had one of my friends tell me they hate all of the magical girl tropes that I'm putting in here, like
Nice.
shouting the attacks and all this. But at
That means
the
you're
same
doing it
time,
right.
yeah. But at the same time, I have things like she pulls out a handgun and starts shooting it. Like,
Yep. You're going to sell this on at the con, or I mean, I guess you can't now. There's no way we can get to the printer in time and back.
no, but I am gonna make it into a comic to sell.
That works.
So.
And that's one of the reasons, actually, the NFT thing is kind of one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing with this. Because as a cell, it is a one-of-a-kind thing. You're never going to get one that's exactly the same because I hand paint them. So they're always slightly different. There'll be a little error here or a little error there on all of these. So even if you get the same exact cell, it'll be slightly different, which I think is cool. So that helps a little, because that's one of my biggest gripes about NFTs, of course, is that it's weirdly set up.
Yeah.
To understand the concept of whether you're taking something original or not. Make sure that all of that's inside.
So while working on this comic, I ran into the. I just sent you I ran into that, and it made me laugh because that is totally Brigid. Brigida, in a nutshell.
And this gun I found. Hey, George. You're judging me again. Weird.
He's a cat. Of course he's judging you.
He's so judgy.
NFTs are already starting to go away. They've dropped in value quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And several of the really, really expensive, stupid NFTs got sold for like a penny out of the holder. So there's already art theft starting to happen with the NFTs.
Which is, in a way, I'm kind of bummed about this because we're back to, okay, yeah, the only way you can really make money is to die as an artist, and we're
Yeah.
back to that. Whereas before, it was actually sort of a way that we could sort of manipulate the market a little bit in our favor and make some money while we were still alive. But no, not anymore. That can't hold. Why would we do that? we need to keep artists where they're just poor and never eating and stuff and die. I'm bitter about this.
I can tell.
Because I feel like we
But
all
it's
have
not
our
just
calling.
art. It's not just art. It's like everything. Like
Yeah, it's everything.
wages have gotten so depressed that you can't. Like I was looking up one bedroom apartments, and they're astronomical. How much they want for just a simple one bedroom crappy apartment.
Yep. Right now, a one bedroom apartment in Denver is almost $2,000 a month.
Yeah, yeah. It said the average price of Colorado is $1,800.
Yep. Yep.
And that's what Rent.com discovered when it analyzed its own data.
Yep. And there's just no way to do anything about it. There's nothing you can do. It's just you're screwed.
Yeah.
Real estate is definitely a scam. Now, is it a scam down there in Brazil too? I mean, because I know that we're suffering massively up here, but the question really is it everywhere in the world, or is it just, well, yeah, 750 for your two bedroom, one bath is pretty normal. But
Where's
you're
Brent at?
also nowhere. Well, Brent is out in Kansas.
Okay, that's why.
Right. I mean, because like you're, and I mean, I don't mean to knock you. You're, because there's nothing really wrong with Kansas. Um, but I mean, legitimately, you're to get back to here where where you want to get into the things that you want to get into. It's going to cost you a lot of money to do that because you've got to travel all the way from Denver or from Kansas. Oh, while we're here, Ghost Hand, as a side note, I went on ahead and signed back up with my driving school that I used to work with. And so I will be doing, in the summertime, there will be 2 weeks that I'll be teaching classes and 2 weeks off. So the shows that I will do, I'll still do the shows, but I'll be recording them at 9 to 11 at night and then replaying them in the morning. It's just important
You mean
because,
I could actually come
like,
on
join.
at a decent time and be able to enjoy?
So you'd actually be better off at that time of night, huh?
Yes, because that's when I do
Oh,
most of
okay.
my work. Like in the morning,
Then
it's actually very difficult for me to get anything done.
good. Then this actually will help us both. I'm just worried that I'll lose Ghost Hand and Hone, um, because I like them and I don't want to lose them, as you might imagine. Um, so Ghost Hand's saying it's 60K for a pretty decent sized house. So yeah, it's probably better. In Japan, it's ridiculous, of course. I mean, like anybody expected any different. Um, so there's that. Average home is still 155. It's still not beautiful though. This is like fun. Fur is a thing.
Yep.
And since I'm only doing one picture, not a comic, I can fur to my heart's content.
You can
That's what
purr
you
if you want
always.
to.
You can leave your friends behind. Your judgy friends. Where's my judgy friend? I don't know where he went.
If your friend's not fur, and if they're not fur, then they're no friends of mine.
Yeah, actually, I've often thought about that. Ghost Hand's talking about how some states in Brazil are pretty much just effectively the wild wild west. Um, just some of the things I have seen online, footage from Brazil is just like really weird. Some places are super awesome, and some places it's like wow, which I guess kind of happens here too, just in a different way. Um, Also, I never trust what I see online because of the old. When I was in Japan, my dad kept asking me if I was dying in an earthquake every 5 minutes, and all my kids kept asking me if I'd ever been shot. It depends. The internet makes all of the bad things seem super huge. Like, I've never been shot, never been shot at. I've never even, nobody's ever really threatened me with a gun. It's like,
Well, it's like when I was out
with the
there.
exception of once in Texas, but that's Texas, so there's that.
When I was out in Japan, like the week I was out there, they had a typhoon hit, which caused major flooding in Tokyo, but not in the area I was in. And a volcano erupted and an earthquake happened.
Right?
And so my parents were pretty freaked out about that. It's like, oh, are you safe from the volcano? What volcano? What
Right?
about the
Well,
flooding? We're seeing people wandering around in like chest deep water. I'm like, what flooding?
oh yeah, no pointing guns at me next time. Yeah, that's thanks.
I feel there's a story there.
God, Ghost Hand, I'm so sorry, dude. I hope you live in one of the better ones. Come on. Why is it won't sort until I mess with it over here? I've got to dink with it to make it sort.
Down to
Hey, we'll just snag the colors off of this so we have all the right colors. Because the Konoko bus was actually not yellow, which was funnier, I guess. I don't know. I just work here. Um, okay. I feel like we're good with color, light, and shadow. So I'm going to take off all the background cells. And, oh, we missed one thing. Mount. We want to make sure we have his mount. Doot, 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 doot. Man, grabbing some of these colors is rough. We'll come in here on color. We'll do this. That's still one of my irritations. The only time I've ever had a gun pointed at me in threatening manner was, of course, naturally at my dad's next door neighbor in Texas. And it's like, really? Yeah, corruption. Corruption's a big problem all over. I mean, we've got corruption in our politics. Um, it's like we can't shake it. The thing that sucks is it makes the conservatives think that the companies are better for us because they're not wrong about complaining about corruption. However, companies actually legitimately have been really bad to us. Like, we have history of
And
this.
are corrupt.
And are corrupt. And there's nothing to tell them that they shouldn't be corrupt. Like, that's the argument my best friend always makes, which is no matter what, the government's mission is for the people. That's their mission. There's no such mission for a business. So they can
Well,
be...
there is a mission for a business. It's make money.
Right, but I'm just saying there's no such business, there's no such mission that they should be, good. They just have to do whatever they can to make the most money. So his whole thing is at least the government has a mission to do good.
At least
They may
according
not
to theory.
accomplish it. They may not do it right, but that's their job. I mean, and my sister, who is a government employee, she exemplifies that. She definitely is, she's on the job of good, Don't need you anymore. Actually, I can just take and go bork, and then say bork.
Bork, bork, bork.
Yep, it's always bork. All right. I'm liking it. I think it's cute. I think it's adorable. Right? That's okay. So it's kind of, in a way, comforting and sad. Because that's sort of what I have been seeing, because I know that you've done a politician change down there in Brazil recently, and that politician is like a disaster area. And I mean, I know very little about anything beyond that, but I know that there's been something going down there. Only thing I want to change is no.
So this comic has had a lot of speed lines. I have never drawn so many freaking speed lines in my life.
Speed lines are awesome. I'm just going back in and just tapping in here and just cleaning up some of this mess. Make sure it's not totally messy. I'm liking it. I'm liking all of this stuff. We're doing all this good stuff. We're doing good work. It's you, me doing good work, man.
It's been nice to get back into drawing again.
Yeah. COVID did not do you any favors.
Nope.
I keep telling the story. You are the reason why I went and got my booster. Like, literally the reason. You sent me that picture of you in the hospital, and you're like, I can't actually use my drawing arm right now. And I was like, crap.
And I couldn't use it for over a year.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
And so it really bugs me when people are like, well, I don't want to
It
get the
probably
shot
wasn't
because it
real.
didn't. Well, COVID's not real, and I don't know if it's a good idea. And it's like,
Yeah,
get the shot. For the love of
just
God,
do
get the
it.
shot. But it's no
For all
worse
its
than the
holy.
common cold.
You're like, no, it was pretty bad. Yeah, you were convincing. I have to admit, you being in the hospital and on respirators and crap, that was convincing. I didn't need to do that in my life. I'm good. I'm good. Yesterday we had a discussion about that a little bit, and it was interesting because we had Pepper on, and they were talking about how they went to go get something, and they while they were there was a lady getting her booster shot, and she was being so, like, they were talking about how people would resist doing it to the bitter end, and it's like they shouldn't have to. Chicken, finished loading the dishwasher, and you ran it. Oh, there we go. My wife is a sweet lady. He loves her. I connected
Uh,
my PC to my phone now, which is great. So,
so there was a kerfluffle that happened over at Genghis Khan, in which,
really,
yeah, with COVID, specifically COVID boosters.
okay.
And one guy, so that they were having a kind of a after after con party for the guests and
Mm-hmm.
people that were invited. And one of the guys there, apparently, he had not gotten his COVID shots because he is highly allergic to them and they could kill him.
Fair.
So, fair. And one girl asked if anybody had not gotten their shots, and he straight up said, I haven't. I have a medical reason for it, all this.
Right. That's
And
cool.
and he goes, I can leave if you want. And she goes, no, it's okay. She had an autoimmune disease, so she had to be very, very careful, or else COVID could kill her.
Right.
So again, no problem there. She put on a mask. She was okay. The problem came into when another person altogether decided to throw his opinion and yell at the guy who hadn't been vaccinated about why he hadn't been vaccinated and yada yada. And apparently it got really, really ugly, from what I understand.
Yeah. Well, we had, and it is rough. I mean, because it's the problem is the idiots are making it so hard. The idiots have made it so hard because now it's a, if you don't have your vaccination, you're intentionally putting yourself and your family and everybody at risk unless you have a reason for it. But people just, it's so rare that now people just, I swear, it's like, it's so rough. And I feel bad for people who are like that. We have somebody who's like that in our, at NDK who can't because of the autoimmune system problems too, or because of a medical reason, but a medical reason
Yeah.
can't get that. And at some point in time, by accident, one of our people mentioned that that individual was not vaccinated, and it became NDK doesn't do vaccinations, they don't believe in vaccinations, yada yada yada. And I'm like, what? And it was just so fast. It went from, you know,
How'd you get to A from A to B?
right. It happened so quickly where we were all of a sudden anti-vax and all of this stuff. And we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. How'd you get there? You know, So we ended up having to print up buttons that said I've been vaccinated, and all the staff members had to wear it. And I was like, just so we could fight that. And it was just so weird. And I mean, the biggest problem I've got is that the anti-vaxxers are so loud. They're so loud that you kind of have to get to the point where you do start yelling at them, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
And it's I understand where they're coming from, but man, I've got extra time, so I'm wasting time pointing things, making fur pointy. So, yeah. Okay, so we're going to have a couple of extra cells. We're going to have this Neko bus. He'll be ready. Koneko bus. And
So I'm going to have 2 comics.
that you just make me sick, and that's just the way it
So
goes.
I'm going to have Cryptids and Cogs is going to be there, and then Jurassic Thunder is going to be there.
Okay, well, that's actually not so bad because both of those were done years ago.
Yeah. And I'm actually
You don't
going to
make me
bring...
feel so inadequate
I
whenever
don't
you
think
do that.
you've ever seen this, but I'm going to bring this with me.
Nice. I like
So
that.
I've had this for years now. It's
Right.
still in the plastic, and it's a canvas print of the cover for Jurassic Thunder
Nice.
that one of my friends gave me.
I'm going to have boop, boop, boop. These cells will be there. Boop. And I will have one of these there. So this will definitely be on there. So this actually didn't turn out bad. You can take a look at it when you get to the table, but it didn't turn out bad at all. Actually, it kind of looked nice. You know. So we'll have that. I'm working on a rig over here, which allows me to do lighting with the cells. So we're gonna have to do that, but I only have one rack that works right now. So I'm gonna go over to my best bud's house today, and he's gonna tap a wire between these so that it'll go through there and then go to this guy too, this set. Probably these wires. I'll probably just take the little lead off and then have him solder it in. I'd do it, except that, I am horrible with a soldering iron, and I know that if I actually did that, I would end up shorting out just about every LED on that chain for reasons that I have never figured out. So, okie dokie. We need to fix this little piece right up here. Make this look a little less like it's that. Did you get your sales tax thing done?
I need to work on that today.
I'm going to do it too. All we need to have is proof that we did it, and we'll be fine. Which is good because actually looking at the fines on there, I don't think we want the state of Colorado to find out that we were operating without a license, because that could get ugly.
Yeah.
And it is only $16 and that covers us for 2 years. So it's really ridiculous not to do that. There we go. I think that's perfectly reasonable. In fact, I'm kind of wondering why I didn't do this before, because I've got a couple of Totoros in here and stuff like that. And I'll sell you and sell 8A. There we go. He's not a double layer, but he'll be a single layer, and that's fine. And we have about 10 minutes looking at things. Oh, pop. Everything just popped. That's nice. So, I'm like looking at my chibis and cutes here. I've got like a Naruto here, which probably wouldn't go over as well. It won't. I'd have to clean it up a lot. That's all right. And like some of these would need to be worked on more than others. You know, this cute little dragon is pretty cute. It wouldn't need a lot of work to get up to something reasonable. That dragon. I had a lot of dragon requests. Weird, but true. And my Pikachus would just need to be adjusted because they were drawn really freaking fast. But like this Totoro one would be cute. Yeah. Not a horrible one. There's that Koneko bus.
Which one?
This one.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah, it'd be cute. Then I did a Squirtle. I guess somebody really wanted, I don't remember. Somebody then was a Trekkie and came in and wanted the Enterprise. And I was like, that's kick butt. I'll do that. So I did the Enterprise. Considering these are on sketch cards, it's not bad. I don't remember who this is from, somebody. And then, there's like stuff in here that's not bad. That's Eve and Data and Spock and Tuvok. And I don't know why. I look at I've got all of like the weird characters. Anyway. And there's Stitch as Yoda.
Are you going to have more of the kaiju battle?
I don't know. Maybe. That one. Yeah, I'll have more of you mean out to sell? Yeah. Here's Pikachu as Thor. And there's Pikachu as Batman. You're my new best friend. That was totally my I was like, what? You want the Enterprise? Is so cool. Then I had like these weird things like this. One girl wanted a wolf, and then one girl wanted a penguin. So then there's a Snorlax or Snorlax. I can't remember them all. There's another one that I don't even remember that Pokemon. Then I did some Hello Kitty, a unicorn. Somebody wanted a unicorn. Just a wolf puppy, a Wuffy. Wuppy? Charizard. Another unicorn. Somebody wanted a unicorn, then I got another unicorn. So I got like 2 unicorns. I was like, what is it with you people and unicorns? And Godzilla. And then all my Pikachus. So
that sounds like a TV show. It's all my Pikachus.
So there was this funny thing. We had gotten requested to do Pikachus so many times that the last thing we all did at the convention or at the thing when we were like packing up at the last bit there, all of us, right? It was everywhere. We all decided to do a Pikachu race and see how fast we could whittle out a Pikachu because we had drawn so many freaking Pikachus. And you're right, Hello Kitty was everywhere. It was so weird. like all over the place. And clearly, I mean, this was 2019, so I mean, clearly, Hello Kitty is still popular with some people because somebody wanted Hello Kitty. These were all free. I just gave them all away for free, which works because now I can still use them. I did all these character portraits and I printed them out so I can sell sort of these kind of things going with us too when we get there. I can do these on site.
Yeah.
I'll bring my red printer and I'll do character portraits on site.
Not the red printer.
Yep, the red printer. Because that's something I can do in an hour or so, and make them look really nice, and they come out really well. And when I do them as these as standees, but also like with a little mini standee up here in the corner. So there we go. So I think what we're going to do now is prep for printing everything out and then prep to have everything ready to go when Kevin shows up at 2:00.
When is load in?
Load in will be at 9 a.m. Saturday morning.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm leaving here at Kevin. I'm leaving here at 7 a.m. because I got to go pick up Raph. So,
Oh, it'd be nice to see Raph.
Yep. I was all excited about that. Okay.
Be right back.
This works much better than it needs to. You know, he says he's still having problems with it, which is kind of a bummer. I'm not sure what's going on, but he's saying he's having problems with it. So now there's a lot of ocean there. Barely can hear you. It sounds oceany. Yeah, one or more are in use because you're too busy going, we got to prepare it for you. Oh, God. Fine. Adobe sometimes just has to be so stupid. I don't even know what this content preparation thing is, but it's preparing the document for me, which is so nice, except that I don't know what it's preparing the document for, but it does it every time you change something. I cannot delete this page. Okay, just prepare the document. Because clearly it's not going to let me delete the page until I've prepared the document. But I found that the easiest way to deal with printers is, see, I've done it so much now, it's just confused. All right, I'll just save it and close it, and then we'll reopen it. No, because this is the other thing we need to do. Export, but I probably should not broadcast, like, you know, my social security number and stuff. Just saying.
Oh no, that's the fun thing to do.
Right,
Don't you
that's
know all the cool
fun thing
kids
to
are
do.
doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can export this as a PDF. Isn't that nice? Really? It's like, remember, if you export it, it may not work like you want it to. Okay, so I thought you didn't do it right, but you didn't do it right. That's funny. Okay, whatever. Biggest thing is I don't want it to have all of this crap whenever we get to that stage. So see you later. New credit card. See you later, Brent. Okay, we're coming up on the end of our show. We've done pretty good. I've got a couple of cells to do, which I think is great.
I am almost done with this page.
I'm going to just move back to the full page or full picture for me because I'm done doing work for the day.
So, good day.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to text real quick here. Okay. I'm just going to real quickly check you and see if I can now delete the one that we can't delete ever because it's not allowed to be deleted. There we go.
Why isn't it allowed to be deleted?
I don't know. I don't know what that was all about, but it deleted it this time. So it makes no sense. I don't understand. But that's okay. It's all good. You know what? I'm just going to throw this in over there as well and call it good. So just grabbing myself a USB drive to. No, don't play it in Winamp. It's all right. Goofus. We're going to real quickly copy all of these things over to the USB drive. Because I have a USB drive that does this, and then that way, you sent me a thing, but I'm not checking it yet. You have to hang on. Are you frozen?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you sent me a thing, and I'm just, that's why I was like, what happened? All right.
So on my rough draft here, I'm on this page.
Right.
That's 4 pages in, according to my rough.
Right.
This is page
You're already
10.
700 pages in because of that? Yeah, I know.
I had a nice, easy, rough draft, and then it started to increase as I'm like, oh, I need to have this in here.
I'm
Or else
very
people get
strict about what
confused.
I am on my rough draft and where my rough draft goes. I'm like super strict about it because the page count is critical to me. And
Well, the
so,
page count is critical for me too, but it's one of those that, like, when I rough something, I'll go, oh crap, I need to have a couple more here. I need to extend the action here. Something's not right.
something's not right. I spend an awful lot of time with something's not right. I've noticed.
Anyways, it's after 11 and I have to get going.
Yep, I was going to say it's about time for me to go to lunch, so I'm closing things down. It's time for you to go do other things. I will see you. Maybe you'll be on the show tomorrow when we're all together and talking about what we're doing. And if not, I'll see you Saturday.
All right, see you then.
And for everybody else, thank you for joining me, Ghost Hand. Thank you for joining me, Brent and Donald. And I will talk to you all later. And remember to keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye. Computer, good night.